You find an old photo. You stare at it for a few seconds. A birthday party, a kitchen table, a shirt you forgot you owned, someone laughing in the corner. And then it happens. A memory appears, not all at once. First, a feeling, then a detail, then a whole little scene. You can almost hear the room. You can almost smell the cake. You can almost remember what someone said. But here is the unsettling question. What if your brain just invented part of it? Not because you were lying, not because you are confused, but because memory is stranger than honesty. Most of us think the past lives somewhere inside us, like footage in a private archive. Press play and the moment returns. The face, the sound, the truth. But the brain does not store life like a video file. It stores fragments, images, emotions, meanings, clues, pieces of context. And every time you remember something, your mind rebuilds it quietly, quickly, so smoothly you never notice the construction. But here is where it gets strange. Scientists have shown that people can remember events that never happened. Not vaguely, not as a guess, with confidence, with emotion, sometimes with details. In the 1970s, psychologist Elizabeth Loftus began studying how easily memory could be changed after an event. In one famous line of research, people watched footage of a car accident. Then they were asked questions about what they saw, but the wording changed. Some were asked how fast the cars were going when they hit each other. Others heard the word smashed. That one word mattered. People who heard smashed often remembered the crash as more violent. Some even remembered broken glass that was not there. A single word had reached backward into the past and changed what the mind believed it saw. That is the first crack in the mirror. Memory is not just what happened, it is also what gets suggested afterward. But the experiments went even further. In another famous study, researchers convinced some people they had been lost in a shopping mall as children. The event had never happened. But with a believable story, a few family details, and time to imagine it, some participants began to remember. They described fear. They described being found. They described details that felt real. A fictional childhood scene became emotionally alive. Not for everyone, but enough to change what science thought memory was. Because if a person can sincerely remember being lost in a mall, what else can the mind build from suggestion, emotion, and imagination? But here is the part that feels almost too personal. False memories are not always dramatic. They can be tiny. Who started the argument? What your friend's tone sounded like? Whether the vacation was perfect? Whether childhood felt happier than it really was? Whether someone always treated you one way or only did once? The brain does not simply preserve the past. It protects the story you are living now. If you feel betrayed today, yesterday may start looking colder. If you feel loved today, old pain may soften. If you miss a time in your life, your mind may polish it until it glows. This is why nostalgia can feel so convincing. It does not only remember, it edits with longing. And longing has beautiful lighting. But here is where the false belief starts to break. We usually think fake memories are failures, glitches, mistakes, evidence that the brain is unreliable. But maybe false memory is not just a flaw. Maybe it is the shadow side of a powerful gift. The same system that lets you misremember the past also lets you imagine the future. It lets you picture a life you have not lived yet. It lets you learn from stories. It lets you understand other people. It lets you fill in missing pieces so the world does not feel like chaos. A perfect recording device could store everything, but it could not make meaning. Your brain is not built only to remember what happened. It is built to help you survive what happens next. So it compresses, it predicts, it edits, it connects. It turns fragments into a story you can carry. And stories are useful, but they are not always exact. This is why two people can leave the same conversation with two different memories, both certain, both sincere, both wounded. One remembers silence, the other remembers restraint. One remembers cruelty, the other remembers confusion. And sometimes the fight is not over what happened, it is over whose reconstruction gets treated as reality. But here is the quietest danger. Confidence feels like proof. When a memory is vivid, we trust it. When it has emotion, we trust it more. When we have told it many times, it becomes smoother. And the smoother it gets, the truer it feels. But repetition is not the same as accuracy. Sometimes it is just the brain paving the same road again and again. That does not mean your memories are worthless. It means they are alive. They change because you change. Every time you revisit the past, you bring the present with you. Your current fears, your current hopes, your current grief, your current version of yourself. The past does not come back untouched. It arrives wearing today's fingerprints. And maybe that is why this science feels so haunting. Because memory is where we keep our identity. Your first heartbreak, your childhood bedroom, the friend you lost, the summer that felt endless, the moment you became someone new. If memory can bend, then the self can feel less solid. But maybe the self was never a statue. Maybe it was always a story being revised in the dark, a story trying to stay coherent, trying to explain how you got here, trying to make the scattered pieces of a life feel like one continuous thread. So the question is not, can I trust every memory? You probably cannot. The better question is, what is this memory doing for me? Is it warning me, comforting me, protecting me, trapping me, trying to give shape to something I never fully understood? Because sometimes the past is not asking to be replayed. It is asking to be examined, gently, with humility, with the possibility that even your most certain memories may be part truth, part feeling, part story. In the end, your brain does not keep the past like a museum. It keeps it like a fire, warm, unstable, always changing shape. And maybe memory is not the place where life is preserved. Maybe memory is the place where life keeps finding its meaning.